Merry Christmas guys, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, whether you're enjoying quality time with your family or simply spending December robbing banks. Since Payday 2's final update of 2022, I decided to take a short break from things, enjoy Christmas, and wait for the full extent of the update to be unlocked so that I could actually cover it on the channel. You see, whilst the Criminal Carol update was one of the most exciting free updates to the game this year, a lot of that key content was locked behind a community event which has been paced to essentially take the entirety of the holiday period to actually complete. As I wanted to touch on the new Copycat perk deck in this video, I've had to wait out the best part of 2 weeks to actually make it, which really is my first gripe with the update overall. My advice to Overkill would be that if you're going to give away a bunch of incredibly exciting new additions to the game, including a free weapon and perk deck, you should probably make those individually accessible early on, so players can get the most out of the themed event with the new toys they're evidently most excited for. I'll happily spend hours lugging presents across the McKendrick Museum to unlock a couple of cosmetics, just so long as I get to do it with Copycat. Since I've touched on it already, let me give you a quick rundown on this year's event, even though I'm sure most of you will be intimately familiar with it at this point. Essentially, it's an evolution of the 9-year anniversary piggy bank event from back in August, except this time we have to take presents from under a tree to either a grinder for an in-heist power-up such as max ammo or explosive rounds, or all the way to Harudin's sleigh to secure a post-heist boon including additional experience, money or continental coins. These rewards are pretty sweet and make the event generally worth playing, but do look out, as you fill up presents at either location the heist difficulty will progress, so if you're in it for the long haul, your best bet is to start off at normal difficulty, a bit of a disappointment for us difficulty freaks. Speaking of difficulty though, the snowman enemy type is a cool new addition. They're essentially bulldozers wielding icy flamethrowers, which actually rob you of your stamina, an innovative new mechanic. These lads are pretty damn OP, as they can't be headshots through their visor, so try to keep them at bay. Of course, there are also side jobs to augment the rewards we receive for our hard-fought combat, which only unlock as the community hits certain milestones. I'm all for community goals, but I have to say, having my own achievements capped by arbitrary community requirements isn't the best feeling, especially when they're integral to the fun of the update. My general perspective on this is we have yet another fun and surprisingly rewarding event, but it still generally amounts to a bag-moving minigame, and I'd like to see Overkill get a little more creative with the formula in the future. But you're not here just to listen to my thoughts on the event, are you? What you're really after is that juicy Copycat analysis, and lucky for me, I was given early access to the deck to create a video tutorializing it over on the Overkill channel. I was humbled by the opportunity to do so if you want my in-depth analysis of this deck, including advice on how to run it, as well as top builds for Death Sentence, check out the video linked below. For those of you staying on this channel, here are the cliff notes. Copycat is the first deck added to the game that allows for direct customization. 4 of the base perks let you choose between health, armor, dodge and stealth related skills, and the final perk is designed to let you take the essence of any other deck in the game and slot it into this one. And on top of that, Copycat has access to its own 4 unique skills, including an instant reload and weapon swap speed perk, which is probably my favourite new addition, a rapid self-heal tool, an ability that allows you to reflect damage when you dodge, and gain health damage immunity when it drops below 50%. Whilst it isn't all that cohesive as a complete deck, these are actually all very powerful individual perks, and when paired with its final Copycat ability, make it likely the best all-around deck in the game, both for loud and stealth. I go into more detail on it in my guide, but for example you can make a ridiculously tanky armoured stoic setup or a hacker style build with a ginormous health pool. Also, this deck has brilliant stealth related perk options. We can run it with Yakuza style speed or the pocket ECMs. In a vacuum, having such a versatile and exciting perk deck is really exciting, and will be an excellent option for those without all character DLCs. But in practice, Copycat has just Thanos snapped half of the perk decks out of the game, as it's simply superior to most of their base versions. For instance, Biker is simply inferior to Prospect Copycat, and Yakuza may as well not exist as Hebi Irezumi is already its best skill. This leaves me feeling a little conflicted, as somehow Copycat brings infinite versatility whilst also killing any actual perk deck variety. A jack of all trades deck probably shouldn't be the master of all. If I was looking to balance it, I'd ensure that every single deck it's able to emulate has at least some uniquely positive feature that can't be replicated by Copycat. It's also almost certainly going to be the final deck added to the game, unless they plan to update this one when they add deck number 24. In any case, for the time being, enjoy the hell out of this deck. It's taken so long to unlock, you guys deserve to play around with something a little OP. It might even introduce you to the playstyles of perk decks you may have avoided in the past, which is surely a positive. Honestly, try out the hacker version, I had so much fun testing it. Alongside an entirely new deck, we've also received a new secondary sniper rifle, meaning even free players will have access to a sniper in that slot now. The North Star Sniper is unlocked by throwing more of those explosive snowballs, which returned from last year's update, alongside all the festive variants of Hoxton Breakout and Bullock's Mansion. And it feels fantastic. It's in that 168 damage category, just like the Contractor or Lebenssorger, and is a seriously lethal option in the secondary slot, letting you run a more powerful primary, such as the Lion's Roar or Akimbo options, instead of being forced into an SMG. My main takeaway with this gun is how excellent it feels and sounds to shoot and reload. Honestly, there have been paid DLC weapons that haven't had the same amount of care and attention paid to them as the North Star has. If you need more evidence of the love that's been poured into this gun, it also has its own unique weapon set as well as 5 tailored attachments that can be unlocked via the event. If you have a thing for iron sight rifles, like I do, this has to be the very best option to run in the entire game. A top weapon in my favourite category of Payday 2, a real recipe for success as far as I'm concerned. As for the other three parts of this update, you will have noticed a clean UI change for the perk deck menu, making your selection process a little easier, although you'll only need to be picking Copycat for the time being anyway, as well as all other seasonal returning elements I mentioned before. The new cosmetic this year is an elf-inspired costume, which looks great, if a little off-putting without any festive-themed gloves to go with it, alongside 4 coloured masks in the form of hats, which have sadly still not been unlocked as of recording through the event. This moves me on to the paid section of the update, the McShay Modpack. As I've said previously, Modpack DLCs tend to leave a larger impression on the meta than most of the DLC additions, and this one is no different. There's a lot of slightly power creepy options now to grab more stats for your weapons, including the new secondary sight slot, letting you go to war with 3 damn optics on your gun. The Orthogon foregrip is a crazy step up from the tactical handguard, and we get a new speed pull style mag which lets you trade some of that reload speed for more rounds in the magazine. More choice is almost always a good thing. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Cassian Elite Scope if you're after a higher zoom option, and the Biometric Analyzer is a really cool addition that also comes with a nagging question. This thing works like a HUD mod, allowing you to scope out the precise remaining health pool of an enemy. As anyone who's been using an info HUD for a while knows, this can be massively useful information in combat. Now that we have access to this utility within the vanilla game, does that mean the info HUDs really are kinda cheating? I'm too stuck in my ways to change now, but it does beg the question, I suppose. In all honesty, this is the kind of addition I would have loved to have made it over to the console versions of the game, to go some way to replace the need for those modded HUDs where they obviously can't be downloaded. This DLC also came with a cool new throwable, the Semtex. It won't be game changing, but I've always loved adhesive grenades in shooters. They just tend to feel easier to aim and more satisfying to land. Much the amaze it's taken this many years for us to get one in Payday 2. Finally, the long awaited equipment has been revealed to be the Ordnance Bag, a throwable refill tool. Now, I said this would be the lowest impact edition if Overkill went for it when speculating on what it could be. However, with how they've decided to implement it, it actually has a niche. You see, flashbangs are pretty overpowered. You can throw 6 of these out over a 20-second period and pretty much stun everything on the map. The Ordnance Bag has 4 charges, but actually refills the entirety of your supply, meaning it gives you 30 flashbangs per heist instead of 6. If you're a god gamer who never goes down and doesn't feel the need to bring healing, you can do a whole lot worse than packing 24 additional massive radius stuns. Certain DSOD heists, such as Hoxton Breakout, can be trivialized by flash grenades, so this should be up for consideration. Other than that, I guess it's pretty good for Kknowley when he's off doing his silly challenge runs and running out of throwing knives on Panic Room. Thanks guys, just a couple of years too late. Honestly, if I was looking to make this more viable, I'd make it so you can automatically carry 2 bags with 4 charges each. You know, like you can with the incredibly powerful Doctor's Bag. I just don't see it finding a place in many people's builds without that change. Overall, this is one of Overkill's most ambitious updates in years. I'd be lying if I said they landed the execution on everything. Apparently on launch things were fairly buggy, and it's a damn shame that it's taken this long for us to actually get to play around with Copycat. But I'm still happy that after almost 10 years of Payday 2, we're still getting content with this sort of game-changing scope. With a little refining, it's a fun formula for an update, and I'm sure many of us will get hours and hours of playtime trying to test and build the most potent perk deck possible thanks to the madness that is Copycat. If you still haven't given the update a try, there's no better time like the present, as most bug fixes have already been deployed, and all that's left is for us to play around with our Christmas toys. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you're looking for a new gaming PC option as we head into the new year, look no further than my line of Apex gaming PCs. Take care, and have a wonderful winter holiday. I'll see you all very soon.
A huge thank you to my dedicated Patreon backers. If you want to join this crew in going infamous, check out the link below and pledge as little as $2 to see your name in the credits, or get 24-hour early access to future videos and vote on upcoming content. Take care, I'll see you all soon.